Hi, buddy, and welcome. I'm just going to be talking a little bit about things that I think should be in the future F1 games. Now, of course, the 2021 game is already pretty much done by this point, so any suggestions will probably not be added. However, these are suggestions that have been going on for so long that I really hope that they are in the next F1 game, and if not, then they will be in future F1 games. The first one is a full-on testing period. Now, of course, that should be optional, because some people won't want to waste their time of doing so much testing. They just want to get into the races, which makes sense, but the F1 game already has an option where you can do a full season of Formula 2. Now, that also obviously is delaying the F1 experience, but it's all for the immersion. So if you're doing that, I would say also have a full-on testing period, and in that period, things can go wrong. You don't really know how well the car is. You don't know what upgrades have failed or worked until you get into there. You can also do some upgrades, hopefully cheaply, during the testing, because actual teams were able to do upgrades between testing and the actual F1 races, specifically Mercedes, due to their lack of rear downforce. But that is something that I think should be added. Something else that I think should be added is just better customization. I think that there should be much better customizations, and you should really have a lot more freedom with your helmet, gloves, everything. And what's even more is, I think that we saw a bit in the My Team career mode that your helmet will have some sponsors. I think that if you do the driver career mode, then you should have sponsors affiliated with the team that you're in on your helmet. It would just make everything so much more realistic and just make the immersion that much better. Also, I think that the F1 2020 game made a huge leap by letting Formula 2 drivers move up to Formula 1 and letting Formula 1 drivers retire or just leave for a little bit. But I think that that could be taken to another level with drivers who are currently maybe development drivers or drivers who are sort of affiliated with Formula 1. They could perhaps return. I know that Daniel Kvyat, Robert Kubica, Stoffel van Dorn, they could all have a chance of re-entering F1 along with Nico Hulkenberg, Esteban Gutierrez, because all of these drivers are affiliated with F1 teams as testing and development drivers, but they should have a chance to get back into F1 because they haven't retired. They've just been kicked out. So I think that would also really add onto the experience, onto the immersion. Those are just some things that I think would really benefit the F1 game, just for the complete freaks who just absolutely love this kind of stuff. Also, I think that there should be a sort of guidance system in the F1 game for driver transfers, because, George Russell, if he leaves Williams, he shouldn't leave it to go to Renault. He should leave it to go to one of the Mercedes affiliated teams, whether or not it's actually Mercedes or maybe Aston Martin, though that probably not, but like Yuki Tsunoda, he's on the track to Red Bull, so he shouldn't go to Alfa Romeo. So I just think that there should be these guidelines. However, even though those guidelines will probably mean that there won't be as many driver transfers, because a lot of drivers are on one set, track, a lot of drivers aren't, so I think that could still be very interesting. And there should also be something in the F1 game where it shows how long the contracts are, so we have an actual idea. So it's not just 1-year contracts for everybody, but some people will have longer term contracts, others will have short contracts, and they might be booted out the moment their contract ends. All of these things to be taken into account. That would just make driver transfers, career immersion, customization, All those things would just really, really improve the game experience of the F1 game. So hopefully those are going to be added in the 2021 game. If not, then it should really be something that Codemasters look into in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you feel like it, please press the very shiny, beautiful subscribe button. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.